lot about the bumper being one of the last things that we are doing on this LLY Duramax. Today, we're going to be flashing new tunes on this truck before the giveaway ends. Mainly because it does have a DSP5 switch right here. It does say PPI tuning. It is not PPI tuning whatsoever. After I purchased this truck, I wanted to try same-day tuning. Long story short, they claim that they're not out of business, but they don't respond to any of the emails. I've had really good support with them in the beginning, and so did everybody else. There's a lot of drama involved with them, and allegedly scrapped STT and started focusing on their main company, which is another 3-letter company. I'm not gonna get into all of that. Just after finding out some of the truths about them, I don't really have a lot of confidence in their tuning, mainly because I do have an upgraded turbo and HSP piping and all of that stuff, 6-speed transmission conversion. So I just wanted a reliable tuning that can actually tune my truck specifically for my 64mm turbo, be more compatible with the 6-speed conversion that I got from Duramax tuners. We have tunes from Motor Ops. Yeah, I mean, just a simple tune, DSP5, EFI Live, and this is an auto cal to flash. Because there is a lot of confusion, and I have made a video on this, but I am gonna kind of go over it briefly. So that way, if you're watching this for the first time, you're not confused. A lot of times, I hear people talk about how EFI Live is their tuner. And that is false. EFI Live is the software that your tuner uses. So for example, PPEI could be the company writing tunes, but they use the EFI Live software. AutoCal is a device you use to flash the tunes onto the truck, and EFI Live is a software that the tuners use, kind of like with the L5Ps. People talk about how they use HP Tuners tuning. HP Tuners does not provide tuning itself. They provide the platform for tuners. So for example, if I was a tuner, I would be using HP Tuners software to write the tunes and then send that out to you, and then you guys would be also using HP Tuners software to load the tunes onto the truck using MPVI3. But I have done a video on that. Make sure to go check it out. And after we flash the tunes, we're gonna put new headlights that we got for the LLY. Alright, so with the LLY Duramax, there's a couple of fuses that we need to pull before flashing the tune, because otherwise you're gonna get a lot of error messages and it won't flash the tunes, or sometimes it could interrupt the flashing process in the middle and possibly break the ECM and you have to send it off, blah blah blah. It's not fun. TBC battery, TBC ignition, info, and radio. Those are the 4 main fuses that we need to remove. And this step is actually, I would say, pretty important with the LLY Duramax. My first LLY, it took me a long time. It took me multiple tries to flash the tunes onto the truck, and I actually know somebody who bricked their ECM and they had to send their ECM off to the tuner and get it bench flashed through them and get it sent back. So it is pretty crucial. Alright, so you see these 2 fuses that I disconnected, and this one, and then also this one right here. Put it in run position. Obviously my air dog's not working because I unplugged it. And hook up the auto cal right here. It should turn on here in a little bit. As you can see, my radio is not on because we pulled the fuse, and especially with an aftermarket radio, it can mess up the tuning process. So let's go ahead and peel that. D-Max Rhino is going to cringe. So we're going to go to tuning tools. Tuning tools right here, and then we're going to hit program full, and here is my folder. Yes, yes, I'm just going to hit yes. Okay, everything is verified. It's going to ask if we want to license this controller. Yes, I did have to buy another license for this truck for the AutoCal, so hit yes. There's a podcast that Corey Willis was on, and I do really agree with what he has to say about the tuning, that the tuning world at the moment. EPA is cracking down, and they are making all these legit tuning businesses essentially go out of business, or they have to stay focused on emissions compliant tuning only. Not only does that actually cost more money now, because if they didn't have the setup before, like the testing setup before, now they're having to pay more to get emissions certified. And from what I heard, in order to get CARB, the California standards, approved, it takes months and potentially even a couple of years. So as a company, you are writing tunes and selling tunes, and you are having to wait months to a year to a couple years to get your tunes approved to make it available for sale online or to just be able to sell in general. That's a lot of money that these companies are losing out. So obviously there's loopholes to this, and there are shady companies that are writing tunes, and they're not even good tunes anymore. They're just purchased from overseas, or they're old stolen tunes that they have a whole database full of. And now people who are buying these delete tunes are potentially getting badly written tunes. So I do agree with Corey on what the EPA is doing and how they are just ruining this industry. I feel like there's way better ways to go about this. At the end of the day, it's all politics and money. It's getting really sketchy. I know a lot of people ask me about deleting and stuff like that, and as much as I would love to talk to you guys about it, I can't risk my job, my assets, and everything I have, because EPA is actually cracking down and they have access to like our DMs and emails and stuff. Like, I'm not risking it. People who get upset because I don't want to talk about helping them delete their trucks, but it's, at the end of the day, it's just not worth it for me. If things do get better, hopefully we can talk about this more openly in the future, but at the moment, it's not really worth it, and nobody really should. You know what I think? I think we need to give EPA agents a relatively older diesel truck, like let's say like a 2011 Duramax, LML Duramax, because it's over 10 years old, and give them one that has emissions on it and make them pay for it, make them buy the truck. And once the emissions fail on those trucks, they have to pay out of their pocket to fix the emission, or take it to somebody to get the emission system replaced. Let's see how they feel about that. I think once a couple of them go through that, they'll finally understand why people are deleting these trucks. It's honestly more for reliability, and I know our military vehicles don't have emission system, which I agree. We don't need soldiers stranded on the battlefield because it needs death. You know, that's silly. It also isn't fair for hardworking American citizens, let's say blue-collar workers that travel all around the world for welding or whatever, and they get stranded 1,000 miles away from their home because they're having emissions issues, and they can't delete because nobody wants to delete the truck because it's just not worth the fine and the jail time. Yeah, it's so corrupted right now. I don't agree with half the stuff that's going on. When I loaded SDT tunes, I actually didn't pull the fuse on this truck, and it flashed it no problem. But I was told that, you know, if something did happen, if something did get interrupted, it could have bricked my ECM. So now that, you know, I'm doing this for you guys, I want to make sure we do it the right way. Almost there. Flashed complete successfully. Alright. Switch the ignition to off and wait for the countdown to complete. Unplug this. And alright, so here's something I did differently. So we do have a DSP5 dial right here. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. So we need to go to our settings, and I actually requested with the tuner to make it where we have the DSP5 access on my CTS3. So I just gotta figure out how to get there. There you go, EFI Live, off, on. Now check it. Now my switch on the fly is on my CTS3. How cool is that? Let's go ahead and start the truck. Alright. Truck starts. And the reason why I put the DSP5 on here is because I honestly did not trust this DSP5 switch. I don't know how it was wired, and because you're having wires go through the engine bay and up there, I didn't want any kind of risk, because they didn't really loom it up either, so I didn't want any risk or have any issues in the future for the owner of the wires chafing, getting cut somewhere, and the DSP5 not working. So to me, this was like a safer option. Yes, we do have this dial here that's no longer really it's pretty meaningless. It doesn't do anything, and there's really not much we can do to cover that up, but it gives the new owner options. You know, if they want to leave it on here, they're more than welcome to, but if they want to go back to an actual switch, that's cool. This thing has a driver. Alrighty, first test drive. We have less than a week left on the LLY Duramax giveaway. As of right now, we are doing 30 times multiply until May 15th, which is the last day to get entered for this giveaway. Every dollar you spend will get you 30 entries for this LLY Duramax. Head over to jwmotorsportsco.com and find something you like, and every dollar you spend will get you 30 entries now. I really wonder if I'm going to be able to tell the difference between the previous tune that I had versus the new one. Right now, I'm driving in the neighborhood. I'm not going to be able to tell a difference. Same thing with the L5P. When I switched over STT to Motor Ops in the neighborhood, I was like, you know, I think it's the same tune. Until I got on the main road and I was accelerating, obviously just because I was trying to get up to speed. It seems to be running smoother, and my transmission is finally shifting happier, I guess. It's more in sync with the Motor Ops tune than with the STT tune. Alright, this is why you get good tunes. This is why you get tunes from companies that have been around for a long time. I thought this LLY ran good before, in which it did, but when you finally load a proper tune, you'll be amazed at how much better your truck runs with a tune, with a proper tune. Oh yeah, my truck is just, this truck just runs way stronger now. I am so happy that I'm able to give this truck away just to one of you guys, so that way you can enjoy this truck. Oh yeah. When you find a good tuner to properly tune your truck, it's a night and day difference. I never really liked the 6-speed conversion on the Duramax tuners, but as of right now, it seems to like Motor Ops tuning a lot better, just the way it's shifting, especially like in the neighborhood. First to second, second to third, third to second, it always was a little clunky, but yeah, it seems to be doing better. So we got new headlights on the LLY, as you guys just saw. You may have missed where I explained why I was getting new headlights, and that is because the way I installed the projectors, I installed them wrong, and so the cutoff line was sideways. And the fact that I had to like JB weld the rear to close the projector shut onto the headlight housing itself, it was just gonna be a lot of work. I went ahead and bought new headlights that will work with this truck, and I put LED bulbs in there. So yeah, I've been driving around with fog lights, and the fog lights themselves are bright enough that it actually worked, but now we have low beams back, and I wanted to change the DRLs a little bit so it's a slightly different shape than what we had before. Make sure to get entered, stay tuned. We have a few more things to do on this LLY Duramax. I know after the bumper I was going to be done, bought a couple more things. I just can't stop spending money on this because I just want to make sure you guys take home the best of the best. So yeah, we got a couple more things, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really does help. And make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below on what you guys. I am telling you guys right now, this truck has never ran this good. She sounds so healthy too. Yeah, this truck, I'm almost sad to give it away, but like I said, I'm super happy that one of you guys can take this truck home and have fun with it. Who knows, if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, maybe this truck could be the one that can help you kickstart your YouTube channel, or this truck could be the one that kickstarts your addiction that's more expensive than a drug addiction. But yeah, I mean, take this truck to shows, have fun with it, or you know, put some stocks back on here and use it as a work truck. You know, do whatever meets your needs. But yeah, oh man, I cannot wait to meet one of you guys and give this truck away.